Disclaimer: this is a work of fiction meant for educational purpose only. The references to the real-life characters are only to draw out parallel from reality and to present an alternate view of it which arouses curiosity among viewers. We as creators have utmost respect for all the characters referenced in this educational movie.
Feet down, 2.5. Picking up some dust. 30 feet, 2.5 down. Take shadow. 4 forward. 4 forward. Drift into the right a little. 20. Down a half. Contact light. Okay, engine stop. Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed. Roger, Tranquility. We copy you on the ground. You got a bunch of guys about to turn blue. We're breathing again. Thanks a lot. Okay, Neil, we can see you coming down the ladder now. I'm at the foot of the ladder. The limb footbeds are only depressed in the surface about 1 or 2 inches. I'm going to step off the limb now. That's 1 small step for man, 1 giant leap for mankind. I believe it, Charlie. It's ready, Jana. Okay, let's go, would you, Charlie? You got all your steering. It's great. Oh, this is going to be some kind of different ride. Hippity hoppity, hippity hoppity, hippity hopping over hill and dale. Da 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 da. Hippity hopping along. 1 ignition. Burn away, Houston. Vector good.
We're burning flight.
That's right.
Looks good, flight.
Observation shot flight.
Roger.
Descending. Stand by for splashdown. Recovery, America, stable water, and the crew is gone.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our heroes who conquered the moon and became first ever humans to set their feet on the surface of moon. Can we have a huge round of applause for Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin? Also, I would like Mr. President to honor our astronauts. Now, I would like to ask you some questions that we got from our international audience present here. Let's start with first question. How was your experience on Moon?
It was indeed wonderful. I felt like I almost lost 5/6 of my weight, although we had some technical hiccups in the beginning, but the mission was a great success.
That must have been an unreal experience. Also, how did USA look from the moon?
I saw a world without borders and boundaries also. The Earth looked very beautiful.
Haha, indeed, Earth is a beautiful place. Also, did you find any alien on Moon?
If we had found an alien, we would have brought him in this press conference. Breaking news. The scheduled Apollo mission celebration event has been postponed after Neil and Buzz reported some flu symptoms. According to the brief by NASA chief, our astronauts complained about fever and flu yesterday. To get more information on this, we are joined by our reporter Miss Bell from Kennedy Space Center, Florida, with more details.
Thank you, Trevor. We just heard the NASA chief's briefing, and he mentioned that NASA had postponed the Apollo celebration event scheduled today. Also, I talked to one of the NASA scientists and on the promise of anonymity. He mentioned that both the astronauts reported fever and flu symptoms late night yesterday. A team of doctors was rushed to the NASA housing flats where our astronauts are staying. At around 5 a.m., the doctors briefed the NASA head of the entire situation. No one has met the astronauts and their families since then. The exact details are still unknown, and things remain unclear.
Thank you, reporter, for the important information. That was our reporter Miss Bell reporting live from Kennedy Space Center. It's time for a break now. We will join you shortly. Stay tuned for more information on national and international developments. In a strange turn of events today, President Nixon was rushed to the Walter Reed Hospital. The head of media relations of White House briefed the media that President was having flu and fever. The symptoms started in the afternoon, and as a precautionary measure, he has been shifted to Walter Reed Hospital. When questioned by our reporter about whether his symptoms were similar to Buzz and Neil's symptoms, or were related to their illness, we got no satisfactory answers and were told that no conclusion can be made as of now, and we will have to wait for initial diagnostic reports by the doctors before anything conclusive can be said.
After this, multiple reports of similar strange symptoms were reported in the White House. Multiple news reporters also fell ill. A situation seemed to become serious and CDC stepped in. CDC suspected that adulterated food and water supplies could be the reason for the mysterious disease that was infecting people. An inquiry was issued in this matter and actual reasons of the spread still remained unknown.
It has been a week since American heroes and leaders have all fallen ill. There has been an addition of new cases each day. Somehow all the cases have linked to the press conference held just after the return of the astronauts from the moon. Few people have started theorizing this as a curse of the moon on the ones attempting to hinder its peaceful existence. Whatsoever, CDC hasn't given out any detail on the possibility or cause of the new disease. My fellow journalist, Dave, is with Dr. Pat Lee, leading research scientist at CDC.
Dr. Lee, what is CDC up to? The symptoms the American heroes and leaders had been showing didn't seem to be in any way related to a common flu. We have not been getting much updates on their health. And now certain terrifying numbers are coming up on the daily rise of infected people. What is CDC up to? We need a response. US wants to know.
Whatever is the case, CDC has been trying to find the root of it. Without knowing the exact details, we cannot let out any presumptions about what's happening and send the countrymen into a frenzy. You can surely appreciate the fact that a CDC has been brought into the case. It's not a simple case of food infection or so, and there's certainly some sense of disease that has been spreading, as can be understood by the contact traces. At this moment, I request all people of DC to keep proper sanitation and be careful in their daily lives.
Sir, when you are not being able to find any exact cause of the disease, or understand how it's spreading, isn't it time you or the CDC in general should also acknowledge the theory of curse of moon on Earth?
Yeah, surely. There has been a curse that's been eroding the minds of educated men in this country. You live in this great era of scientific advancements. We just made a successful landing on the moon. How can you believe in such conspiracy theories, with no scientific backing? I would advise everyone to take care of themselves and their loved ones. Thanks, Dave. And God bless America.
Hey below Neelon. Where are you lost? Dreaming of something big?
Nah dude, I think I have come to understand the moon curse.
Come on dude. We are science people. We cannot accept such bogus things. Oof.
Yeah, Musk. I just said that with a tinge of sarcasm. It's not a curse which has evaded Earth. Rather a bug which has found its way back into the Earth. Along with the astronauts.
Bug, what do you mean?
I think the astronauts have somehow contracted a pathogenic disease. On the moon. Well, I am not sure. But I would like to throw an arrow of guess in that direction.
Okay, Hawkeye. Hope you have enough arrows left to prove your point. Save some to convince those at the CDC. You must contact them. and let us hope that they pay heed to your speculations.
To the concerned at CDC. I am Elon, an epidemiologist at the ABC University. I think I have understood what might be the root cause of the newfound disease at DC. I think the astronauts on the mission have somehow contracted the virus on the moon, which has got incubated till the period before which the press conference took place, and hence though they were looking to be in fine health in the conference, they had actually been infected, which has somehow been passed on to others at the conference either by aerial means or by contact transmission. There had also been a similar case of plague when adventurers Cooper and Hofstadter returned from Waina Islands discovered half a century ago. The scale of contact transmission hadn't been that great and symptoms were mild enough, and hence the event didn't get recorded or studied thereafter. I request you to look into the current situation from such a perspective. I shall be highly obliged if I can be of any help in this regard. Thanks. Dr. Elon.
Dr. Lee, I have something to share. A professor from ABC University dropped a letter on my desk today morning regarding how the current situation may have been caused by a virus, and the astronauts might have contracted at Moon.
That seems like a new perspective. What did you do then?
I had asked the Lunar Laboratory to test if any traces of external agents found in the body of infected patients can be found in the Moon rocks. As instructed, Lunar Laboratory experimented with introducing the external agents in the Japanese quail and rats for testing, and as was doubted, they have started showing peculiar symptoms too.
Right. This seems to be the key to finding a cure for the ailment. Great news, Doc. Let's soon get the samples of those external agents from the Lunar Laboratory and study them. Also get the gentleman right here at CDC. The man who gave us the cause might also be the one to give us the cure.
Sir. Probably I am not the person who could help you with the cure. I study on the spread of virus, germs, their simulations, dynamic properties associated with their spread. I can surely be of some assistance in designing a mechanism to stop the spread of this disease.
Sure, Elon. Any help is appreciated at this deadly hour. Come on, let's show you what we have found regarding the agent causing the spread.
Breaking news. After multiple reports of new form of infection, CDC today termed this disease as Lunar Plague. According to the recent findings, this outbreak is attributed to some bug that our astronauts carried with them from Moon. CDC has released a general advisory for all hospitals with treatment protocols. Opposition leaders are accusing Neil and Buzz as Soviet agents. John Doe accused Neil and Buzz as some alien imposters who have attacked Earth. President Nixon is still in critical condition, while Neil and Buzz are reported to have shown some improvement.
Hey students. I need some help from both of you. Could you both stay late in the lab today and help me with something? It is really important and urgent.
Sure, sir. We would be happy to help.
Thank you both for agreeing to stay back. We have very little time, so I will straight away move to the point. As I pointed out in the last meeting, that there is a possibility of a moon bug that has attacked the Earth. I contacted the CDC with my speculations and they did some experiments to confirm this. The experiment results point out a possibility of a lunar plague, caused by a novel virus that our astronauts brought back from the moon. I have been contacted by CDC to provide all the necessary help that we can. So first, we need to prepare a model and check for the seriousness of this disease. I know you both are quite new to this field, but I will be needing some valuable feedback from both of you.
Oh. A lunar plague? The situation seems very serious.
Indeed, it is. Now I would like to get started with our work. I want you both to look at this data that I have collected so far by contacting the local hospitals and other agencies. This data shows the number of infections that we are being reported daily.
Sir, this looks like an exponential rise.
Yes, the newer cases each day are almost 2 to 3 times the previous day.
It indeed is. But it won't stay the same exponential rise forever. As more and more people get infected, the number of healthy people that remain in the population reduces, so the newer infections will eventually decrease. I want you both to look at this SIR model. It was developed by my advisors Dr. Kermack and Dr. McKendrick. This will help us model the disease spread and decide the possible intervention.
Sir, can you help us understand this model?
Sure. The SIR model is a compartmental model. In this we divide our population into 3 segments. The healthy or susceptibles, which are represented by S, the infected represented by I, and the recovered represented by R. Here we assume a constant rate of movement of population from one compartment to another. The dynamics of disease spread can be captured into these ordinary differential equations. Since we have 4 reported deaths so far, we can tweak this model a bit and replace recovered by removed, which will include the recovered and the dead.
Sir, we have tried to estimate the values of the parameters of the SIR model, and based on the data, we came up with the following values.
So these numbers and estimates from the model are very scary. We might be seeing a potential pandemic. But sir, I have one issue with the estimates that we get from this model. Few days back I was reading about 1906 Bombay plague spread. I observed that there were multiple waves of disease spread that were seen. But this model does not point out any such thing.
Good observation. You are correct. But here in this model, we make an important assumption about the total population remaining constant over our analysis period. If we account for vital dynamics like births and deaths, we will get multiple waves as you mentioned. This model may have some limitations, but we can get a good overall picture from this.
So the added population adds more susceptibles to our overall population. And when they reach a certain number, another wave is there. Am I correct?
Yes, you are. Now can you both work together and update this model with the population dynamics and include the effect of new births and deaths?
Sir, this is the analysis we have done. As expected, we see multiple waves after including the population dynamics.
But how all of this is helpful for us to control the disease?
See, this data reveals a very important aspect of this disease spread. We see here that the rate of change of infected population is positive, and the basic reproducibility number R naught, defined as beta into S naught divided by gamma, is greater than 1. Thus we see a potential pandemic here and immediate measures need to be taken. See, we are currently at this stage where we have 180 infections in DC, and if we take measures like lockdown and social distancing now, then this model will help to predict for how long do we need to implement the lockdown and the effectiveness of the measure.
Sir, so if we lock down the DC now, then we are essentially reducing the contact ratio, and thus we can bring R naught below 1, and can control the spread.
Yes, students. Thank you both for the help. Now, I have to go to the CDC headquarters with this work of yours and prepare the required strategy. Sir, can we both accompany you to the CDC headquarters? Sure. But I need you both to contact some people before we leave.
We are facing unprecedented times, as we have been attacked by this deadly moon bug. The historic event which was supposed to be the celebration of mankind's great leap in understanding the universe may very well prove to be the end of it. We must do something immediately. Before beginning the meeting, here are some findings that I would like to share with you all. The lunar plague is a contagious disease. Its common symptoms include pneumonia, fever, and rashes. Breathing problems are also reported in case of severe infections. To discuss more on this we have Dr. Elon, an epidemiologist from the ABC University. He and his team want to share their work with all of us today.
As you all know, we don't know much about this new disease. With no cure, we must turn to alternate routes to control the spread. We have tried to study the spread of this new bug.
We have tried to use the SIR model to model the disease spread. Analyzing the initial data, we have come up with suitable values of these parameters that define the rate of movement of population from one category to another. The initial analysis by us shows that, if something significant is not done, our hospitals will run out of beds in the next 5 days, and the entire DC will be infected in another 45 days.
Oh Jesus, we are in the middle of such a great danger.
All this sounds haunting. Elon, what should be our strategy now?
The immediate possible solution is a complete lockdown. If we can implement an effective lockdown and quarantine the infected, then we can bring down the infected population and control the disease spread.
A lockdown? This can't happen. How can we lock thousands inside their homes? How will this even help?
The lockdown will essentially buy us time to arrange necessary medical supplies, and to make other arrangements. It will essentially delay the peak of the infectious population.
Our initial analysis reveals that an effective 21-day period lockdown will give us enough time. Also, we must seal all the borders of DC so that infectious don't travel to other cities and spread the infection. Meanwhile, we have fast-tracked drug research at our lab. CDC can help us by establishing collaborations with other labs and universities. Vaccine research can also be started.
Our team has identified some quarantine facilities as per the expected infected population. The travelers and tourists can be accommodated in our DC hotels. The food and ration supplies need to be maintained. We can have them airdropped from neighboring states at some central location, and then distribution can be done by our local task force.
Given the effective implementation of this lockdown, our modified intervention model where we assume a reduced contact among the population, and quarantine facilities gave optimistic results.
I think we don't have any other option but to go with your plan. Elon, let's go and discuss your findings with the Vice President. Good morning, Mr. Vice President. This is Elon from Department of Epidemiology at ABC University. We want to discuss something important with you.
Hey Chief, I was about to call your office. What's your action plan for the deadly disease spread in the city? With Mr. President critical, what can we do now?
Sir, Elon and his team have done extensive research and I believe an immediate 21-day period lockdown is our only option now.
What a lockdown? You want me to lock an entire city? How is this even possible? How will people eat? The economic implications will be devastating. The Soviet Union may take advantage of our situation and may attack us? Sir, our analysis reveals that if we don't do so, then we are seeing another pandemic that may infect the entire DC in approximately 45 days. Lockdown is the only possible option to control the spread.
Sir, these are the documents with some details and plans related to this lockdown. I request you to review this and announce a lockdown in DC and close all its borders. I have contacted the U.S. Army. They are on standby and waiting for your orders.
Seems like there's no other option but to go ahead with this. My fellow Americans, we are facing an unprecedented situation in form of lunar plague. Today, I have come here to announce a complete 21-day lockdown in DC. All the DC borders will be closed and no travel across borders is allowed. We have taken care of all stranded citizens. Food and ration supplies will be ensured. You can contact the local authorities if you need anything. Please wear mask at all times, and ensure proper sanitization. It was on July 28 that we found the astronauts have started showing peculiar symptoms. Few days later, the Vice President gave out that we are all supposed to go into a lockdown. That meant people staying at homes with doors locked. That meant many local business shutting down, only allowing for commotion for medical emergencies. Today, that is, 20th August to be the last day of lockdown. However, it hasn't went as we had thought. Though some improvements have been seen in the current scenario, the rate of daily rise has certainly went down. However, the curve hasn't went down. It has just began to flatten. Hence, CDC has suggested the lockdown to be extended by 14 days. Well, this certainly adds to the tension of the people at homes, as financials has been affected at each and every level in the country. Let's catch some reactions from some experts on what they think of this extension.
I cannot imagine. How can CDC give out such rash decisions? Don't they understand how we have been impacted economically in this tight times? They have not been able to make quick progress with their work, and hence they impose the implication of their work on us. This is totally unacceptable. I am a free citizen of a free country. How can they curtail my rights like this?
Okay, that seems to be a pretty harsh reaction to the decision. Let's hear Simon Wilson has got to say about this.
Well, I think it was quite certain that the lockdown had to be extended. If we look at the charts, the curve, it may suggest an improvement in the scenario. But the scene isn't rosy at all. There have been deaths because of this. We cannot let the situation build on over what it has so far. I am certainly in favor of the decision.
Well, as we can understand, we have conflicts in opinions of the panelists in our discussion. Let's hope we soon get out of this ordeal. Leaving you with some positive news. Vaxford, a biomedical research firm, has said that it is very close to getting a vaccine for the ailment. Biomedical researchers have been able to create a vaccine with 98% efficacy. Let us know more about it from one of them directly about the vaccine.
Yes, as you said, we indeed have been able to create a vaccine against the infection. Going by the name of Liza, it is sure to create relief in this epidemic situation. We tested on a good sample, consisting of people from across age groups. It has proven 98% efficacy in our tests. Government has been swift in its action, thereafter providing extreme support in preparation of vaccine in large scales. It is going to help the medical workers at work, surely relieve even the healthy people of the stress that they had to endure at homes during these tough times. It has also been endearing to hear that a lot of our infected friends have started slowly recovering. May God bless us all, and we soon stand back on our feet in upcoming days.
Indeed. We hope that we get to see the good old days back. Hearing from you, one of the heroes behind this miraculous discovery that's going to help get rid of the infection from Earth, has been an absolute delight.
After almost 2 months fighting the deadly virus, tackling a hectic lockdown, losing some of our close ones in the process, we all have come out victorious. Here we are at the memorial service of our friends we lost in these months. Several dignitaries who were affected and have recovered are gathered here to stand by the families which have suffered and pay their final respects. The President and Vice President have spoken and have also thanked the research team at Vaxford, who truly deserve all the credit in defeating the virus. Next is turn of Mr. Armstrong to speak.
My condolences are with all the families who suffered, lost their closed ones due to the bug that had flown back to Earth along with us. When I returned from the mission, I was seen as a hero. And a few days pass, I am in terrible health. People start suffering. Few of the close ones fail to fight the disease. It's been tough. I will carry this burden my entire life. Standing here, I take so much pride in addressing you all here. We all have fought together. And we have shown to the entire world how great of a nation we are. This victory against the lunar plague wouldn't have been possible without contribution of CDC, biomed researchers, the government. But we probably forget about the epidemiologist war heroes, Elon and his team, who were quick to identify the root cause of the disease and come up with the necessary intervention as soon as they could. Without their intervention, this disease would have turned into a pandemic. So many more lives would have been impacted. The medical facilities would have fallen short to meet the demands. So, today as we celebrate our biomed researchers, the doctors as the heroes, due credit shall be given to those who, during the preceding year, shall have conferred the greatest benefit on humankind.